Wembley, a glorious sight on the last Saturday in May, the last weekend of the domestic season, and the showpiece, Chelsea versus Everton in the FA Cup final, and it's live as ever right here on SBS.
Jim, thank you very much indeed. A classic North versus South final. John Terry, even in a stadium as new as this, has done this before. Philip Neville has won this before. But amidst these seasoned veterans, there are those who are experiencing, Stuart, this particular kind of magic for the first time. You hear doubting words about the FA Cup final. We've had a big Champions League final in midweek, but when you get to the day and the world is watching and you see scenes like this and the build-up beautifully staged, it is retaining this special magic.
It certainly is, and the Everton fans have been here since the gates were open. They're making a heck of a lot of noise. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and I think it's going to be a very good game as well.
The players come out into the usual warm May weather for Wembley. Almost in June, aren't we? The final has never been played this late in the season since the competition began in 1872. The Battle of the Blues. By necessity, one changes Chelsea into yellow. They have taken part in 20 of the previous 127 FA Cup finals, but not against each other, not until now. Chelsea's 9th final, 4 times the winners. Everton, their 13th appearance at the climax of this wonderful competition, and they have enjoyed 5 triumphs.
Former Secretary General of the United Nations,
Well, I think everyone in Wembley today, and so thrilled that a man of the stature of the chief guest, Kofi Annan, is gracing the occasion with his presence. 71 now, originally from Ghana, but a true citizen of the world. The former Secretary General of the United Nations. And the 2 previous finals in the new stadium, Stuart, have been won by goals from Africans. Didier Drogba and then Kanu last year.
Yes, that first game, pitch wasn't quite so good as it is. The pitch has had a lot of stick over the last couple of years. It looks in great condition today. I'm sure it's going to be an excellent game, played on this superb pitch. Howard Webb will make sure that the game flows, hopefully. Certainly, the Africans have caused the victories in the last 2 games. I thought last year's game, Kanu, excellent finish and a good victory for Portsmouth.
Well, whatever happens, Chelsea bid farewell to Husidink, who has won such admiration as the stand-in manager. And these players want to give him the honour of being in charge of an FA Cup winning team as their goodbye present. In front of Kofi Annan, the chairman of the Football Association, Lord Treesman.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem.
Time for the national anthem, sung by 13-year-old Farrell Smith. the waiting is almost over. The Everton fans have been travelling much of the morning, leaving Merseyside in the small hours. For Chelsea, a much shorter, much easier journey, using public transport, I'm sure many of them, from the southwest to the northwest of London. Well, no great surprises in the team news. Hussedink's one main choice was in midfield. He's gone for the youth of Mikel over the experience of Ballack. Alex has postponed a groin operation to be able to play. The former Arsenal left-back Ashley Cole can become the first player since the 19th century to earn 5 winners' medals. 6 others have also won it before, 5 with Chelsea, and Nicolas Anelka with Arsenal 11 years ago now.
Just as we look at the Chelsea formation, as you said, Mikel is the one key addition. He's going to be playing in the holding role. That allows Frank Lampard and Michael Essien to break forward. Look out for Flora Malouda, trying to make diagonal runs to join Didier Drogba as often as possible.
And the Chelsea number 39, Nicolas Anelka. Introducing today's Everton team.
Everton have been hard hit by injuries all season. The cruelest to Phil Jagielka, whose penalty decided the semi-final shootout here. Joseph Yobo is an experienced deputy, though. Otherwise, it is the team which saw off Manchester United, which means Marouane Fellaini returns after being rested for last Sunday's win at Fulham. 18-year-old Jack Rodwell drops down to the bench.
Fellaini will be the key player. Everton play a very direct style of play, and if he doesn't win balls in the air, players like Louis Saha, Leon Osman and Stephen Pienaar won't be able to profit. Tim Cahill too, watch out for him at set plays.
The referee for this afternoon's FA Cup, sponsored by Eon 2009 final.
Howard Webb, regarded as England's #1 official, and he's off to the Confederations Cup tomorrow. Today he achieves the ambition of all referees here to have the whistle on FA Cup final day, assisted by Mike Malarkey and David Richardson. It's another big hair day. David Moyes thinks it's a bad hair day, but the more he says that, the more the player grows it. It's all shaved off for Nicolas Anelka, who's finished this season as the top Premier League goal scorer with 19. And a run of goals at the end. He comes into this final, Stuart, in excellent form.
He does, and many thought that he couldn't play on the right-hand side. I don't think he likes playing out on the right-hand side, but what you'll see throughout the game is him and Didier Drogba swapping positions. Didier Drogba will just drift out wide, and Anelka will try and make runs through the middle, and he's an excellent finisher when he gets the opportunity.
Everton have not beaten Chelsea since the year 2000. 22 meetings in League and Cups. Both matches this season in the Premier League were drawn. Goalless draws. It's certainly been a season in which the elite have not turned their back on the FA Cup. And we've got 2 of the top 5 in this season's Premier League. Chelsea 3rd. Everton 5th. Everton kick off. 14 years since they last won the FA Cup. They were big underdogs that day against Manchester United. And certainly they're in the same position today. Here's Leighton Baines and Pienaar, who's been in really brilliant form. Fellaini using his height. And a goal from Louis Saha. 26 seconds. A stunning start. 2 goalless draws in the Premier League, but in the FA Cup final, Everton have got off to a real flyer. A moment of real quality from a very experienced striker.
Well, it started straight from the kick-off. Yobo played the ball on. Chelsea couldn't deal with it. It's good combination play from Pienaar and Leighton Baines, who had got forward. There was a question mark against the offside. It probably was offside. When Pienaar plays the ball into the box, this is the crucial challenge. Fellaini wins the ball in the box. Saha with space, and what a finish that is with his left foot. Can't blame Petr Cech at all, but that's the battle. Alex against Fellaini. What a start we've got to the game.
Wembley history with the most sensational start, and Everton, who very much the underdogs, but also the underdogs in terms of would they get a goal, where would it come from? They've got a goal, and the selection of Zaha, that was an issue for David Moyes.
Certainly
whether
was.
to play Cahill at the outset up front and maybe use Zaha later on.
Well, Zaha can run in behind people. Cahill, Fellaini can't run in behind people. Zaha has got that extra of the pace. He's a good turner with the ball. Of course, he's had his injury problems and he's not as consistent as his manager would like him to be, but he does pose a threat in behind. But what a finish that was.
So Chelsea will be recalling that they came from behind here in the semi-final to beat Arsenal. Everton have such a resilience, they have such great character, and now they've got something really to fuel their belief. Baines going in.
It's interesting that the two wide midfield players, Osman and Pienaar, are playing quite narrow just to try and combat that midfield three of Chelsea. Chelsea haven't been able to get on the ball so far.
Competition, but it's a thick book of records. Has just got a new addition to it, the fastest goal in the final.
All came from that kick-off. Chelsea hardly had to touch the ball was played forward, and you're going to see that a lot from Everton when they get free kicks, when they get the chance to get players forward. They will play a very direct style of play.
Essien, Basingwa. So whose hitting skills now really put to the test. Very little has gone wrong. Something happened very bad for his players very late in the Champions League semi-final, second leg of course. They've had a few days of thinking, if only they'd got to Rome and not Barcelona. And here they are in a final of their own, and Stuart said they've hardly kicked off before they're a goal down. Anelka. Now it's started to come out. Essien going in. 1 or 2 Chelsea grumbles about the challenge on Essien from Pienaar. Here's Malouda. Blocked by Hibbert. He's a limpet-like defender.
And that was the combination that undid Arsenal. When Chelsea equalised here in the semi-final. Big diagonal from Frank Lampard, Malouda. On that occasion came inside. There he tried to go outside. But they are a threat from set plays.
In the end, it might not have needed a touch, but Philip Neville wasn't in the best position to judge that. And he hasn't conceded a corner. Wembley still a hubbub of noise, joy at one end and concern at the other. Profile checks come out to make sure that Chelsea get onto the front foot as soon as possible.
Well, it's important that now Everton don't back off too far. Important that Zaha does his defensive duties up front, make Chelsea predictable when they've got the ball. Fellaini in that central midfield area, just playing behind him. He's got to do some work as well to stop Chelsea getting into their half too easily.
And Zaha, who had no luck when the FA Cup finals came around when he was a Manchester United player, was always injured. As if he's been waiting for this, and you can't seize the moment much quicker than he did.
Nearly got in again. Alex very hesitant there.
Basingwa. Lescott. Zaha becomes the first Everton player to score twice in this FA Cup run. 8 goals prior to today, all from 8 different players. There's 4 in a penalty shootout from 4 other different players. And Zaha, who settled the quarter-final, has certainly settled Everton down here. The consolation for Chelsea is there's a full match in which to recover.
Good play from Fellaini, getting in a forward area, chesting the ball down, bringing others into play. Just allows Everton to get players further forward.
Lampard. Everton's going to be in trouble here. Not sure he needed to do that, Stuart. There was still a fair amount from Malouda to do.
Obviously seeing that as a weak point for Everton. Again, Frank Lampard, without even looking, just played that ball over the top. Hibbert was in a forward area. Malouda tried to get back. I'm not sure that Hibbert actually tries to get in there. As Malouda runs across him, I think he just clips his heels.
There always is plenty of pre-game speculation on what was a good bet here. A goalless draw after 90 minutes was one that was being touted. Was certainly that was wiped off the possibility within seconds.
What Zaha did well, he realised or anticipated where that header was going to go. He didn't go up against the centre halves, he backed off towards the edge of the box, and the technique was fantastic.
David Moyes, 7-year stint, such an improvement in Everton Football Club under his management, but no silverware to show for it. Here is a wonderful opportunity, but huge respect in the Everton ranks for Chelsea, and not just the individual ability of the players, but the way Hiddink has moulded them into a fighting outfit again. Lost their way under Scolari. Drogba crashing into the ball and the man.
That was good defending from Everton all round, because they pressed the ball high up, and then when they got played round, they recovered quickly.
Spotted by Lescott. There in front of Drogba. Even more now, Chelsea will look towards Malouda now that Hibbert's carrying a yellow card. And he's away. Yobo across. For Anelka. Singra able to baffle the opposition as he would have hoped. Step over and a drop of the shoulder. Alex is off to Holland to have groin surgery. As soon as there's commitments that when we allow.
Lescott was hoping that Howard would come for that. Howard wasn't alert to the situation, so Lescott dealt with it himself.
Anelka.
That's a key battle. Didier Drogba against Joleon Lescott, and at the moment Lescott's won the battle. 3 or 4 times he's intercepted balls or just shrugged Drogba off the ball, won a header against him. Hitting with the problems at the moment.
Usually sides ease off between success in the semis and the big day itself. That's certainly not been the case with Chelsea and Everton. Chelsea, of course, had the Champions League semi-finals to keep their concentration, but they've won all their league games since they beat Arsenal here in the semi. Everton with 10 points from their last 4 games, making sure that they were ready for a fast start. They were in gear. From the kick-off at Wembley, they were in overdrive. Malouda. And it's the way I think Howard Webb has reacted to a flag from David Richardson.
Tony Hibbert's got to start defending a little bit better. He's got to watch his position. Was he offside? Ashley Cole may well have been. In the end, Howard makes the save. Good decision by the assistant referee.
Saha, he's big, but not big, the Belgian of Moroccan descent.
Fellaini has to do so much jumping and challenging for balls. He does get tired in the game, so he has to have a good game right at the beginning. And that first half, that first hour, that's when he's at his most effective.
And he's made a big contribution already to win a ball and pop it down onto the lethal left foot of Louis Saha. Chelsea free kick.
Might be the first time we'll see Howard Webb give a foul against Fellaini.
Everton really do epitomise the team ethic, the whole greater than the sum of the individual parts. Team ethic already being put to the test by Chelsea's skill, and also the comfort with the shape of play that Hiddink been asking them to operate within. Essien. Cole, Ashley Cole, of course. Joe Cole missing out, long-term injury. Drogba. Essien. He used his left foot to better effect against Barcelona at Stamford Bridge, and he did here against Everton at Wembley.
That came to him very quickly. I thought Didier Drogba may have been offside when that ball was played. Hibbert in a 1v1 just has a swing at the ball. It comes back to Essien over the bar. Came back to him too quickly, ready for him to get down on target.
Pushing by Saha. Basingwa. Pursued by Pienaar, the bigger it is Everton. Cahill. Taken away by Neville. Now Drogba. He's really shown himself to be a man for the big occasion. For the most part, I guess we dismissed the antics at the end of the semi-final against Barcelona. It was nearly Fellaini in. You can't miss him when you've got the ball at your feet in midfield. At least spotting him, finding him, almost then.
Well, at the moment, Chelsea's two centre-halves have been caught very open because of the movement of Fellaini and Saha. If one goes deep, the other one goes forward. If one pulls wide, the other one stays through the middle. It's causing Terry and Alex a few problems at the moment.
Cahill. Kick going against Mikel. Went up against Saha. No need for the game to be stopped. Chelsea, remember, won the last final at the old Wembley and the first final here at the new stadium. They trail in the third. Two worrying signs for Everton. Cole and Malouda trying to get down to business, and it's a partnership that's been really flourishing recently. Ashley Cole voted Chelsea's Player of the Year. Domestic Premier League season, he rounded off with a goal, a rare goal for him at Sunderland in the win last weekend. Pina.
Good bit of trickery from Pina. Trying to let the ball run to start with. Go down the outside of Basingwa. Then came back inside. Basingwa has got his problems defensively. Gets some of the ball there though.
Clipped by Baines. Looking for Cahill, so spring-heeled. Mikel. Chase that to Ashley Cole. It's quite measured for the left back. His athleticism will be challenged by the temperatures that he's sprinting in. He'll be glad to get to the second half and into the shaded part of the pitch.
It also tests the athleticism of Osman going back the other way, which is even harder to do. Ashley Cole's made 3 or 4 really good overlapping runs. Osman's tried to go back with him. Hibbert's been sucked in field. That'll be a key battle.
The 5-1 outsiders for the bookmakers to win in 90 minutes. Everton in a 2-horse race, ahead of the opposition at the moment. Terry. Cole. Able to reposition. Basingwa. Here's Alex. Carvalho, like Deco, also out for Chelsea. They're not even in attendance today.
Ball from John Terry. I think he was looking for Drogba on the diagonal. Drogba was just pulling off on Leighton Baines. Drogba hasn't got going so far. It looks like the player of earlier in the season. He looked a little bit lethargic, disinterested. Chris Hiddink made him play a lot better since he's been there.
Tim Cahill, who played for Chris Hiddink, of course, for the Socceroos of Australia. Baines with the throw. The volley forward by Essien. Well by Drogba. Got it back from Anelka and then was a little lax with the layoff the second time around. Cahill. Oh, Saha. Got to touch that. The chase against Terry into space then. Well, it suited Everton.
Dangerous moment because John Terry had made his mind up to set himself for a volley. If Sahara just got a touch and taken it past him, there was no recovery for John Terry.
Lampard. Now Malouda. Drogba coming from the opposite flank. Really in there to put any pressure on Lescott. Nelka was 10-12 yards outside the penalty area. Here's Cahill. The stamina will be put to the test today. It's at a quicker tempo than would have been the case if we hadn't had that remarkable start.
We haven't seen Frank Lampard in forward positions. Usually we see him make forward runs. He's been the provider so far from deeper positions.
There's Anelka. There is Lampard, still with plenty ahead of him. And the header by Drogba, 1-1. The man for the big occasion again. Everton static, Drogba on the move, and Chelsea back in business.
Well, Drogba was outside the box. When the ball was played forward, Lampard again. It's that combination. Lampard out to Malouda. So lovely whipped-in ball into the danger area. Drogba had a real run at it. It was 5 against 1 in the box, but Drogba attacked the ball with more determination. And once he got there, it was a really good technical header. Howard wasn't even able to dive. I said that Lescott was beating Drogba in the early part of the game. When it came and when it mattered, Drogba was first to the ball.
The scorer of the winner in the final 2 years ago is the scorer of the equaliser here in 2009. A real centre-forwards header.
Certainly was. But what a cross that was from Malouda, has been the outstanding player for Chelsea so far in this game. It's giving Hibbert a really difficult time, although it's the other way round here.
Here comes Hibbert. Good cross on the run too. And it almost fell to Saha in a pretty similar area. Chelsea this time were a little more alive. Old adage about being most vulnerable when you've just scored. Marcus stole it from Lescott, and in the end fouled Baines.
Nelga hasn't really got into the game so far. Most of the threat's been down Chelsea's left. David Moyes will be disappointed with his centre-halves when that ball came into the box, as it travelled quite a distance. Yes, it was whipped in, but they didn't attack the ball.
And we have what's been quite a rarity, Stuart, in recent years. Both teams have scored in an FA Cup final.
I think that makes for going to be an outstanding game.
Lampard.
Once again, that was a great pass from Frank Lampard. Drogba just turned and got into the space down the side of Yobo. And when it came back to Lampard, it's a good strike. Didn't quite dip enough. But he can punish Everton two ways. He can run into the box and score goals, or score from distance.
In 13 of the last 15 finals, only one team has scored. Exceptions in finals both in Cardiff, when Liverpool came back to beat Arsenal 2-1, Michael Owen's match, and of course also at the Millennium, the 3-3 draw between Liverpool and West Ham that Liverpool won on penalties.
Both very good cup finals as well. Hopefully this one will match those.
Alex.
I think the pattern to the game is set now. Chelsea are going to have most of the possession. They're going to keep trying to feed it out from Lampard out to Malouda. Drogba's going to keep changing positions with Anelka at times, and Everton are going to have to play on the counter-attack.
There is Anelka. Cahill.
Yeah, it wasn't against Cahill. Cahill was just about to have a go at Howard Webb. There's the foul by Fellaini. He tried to allow advantage. Cahill wasn't the one penalised.
And good communication from the referee, because I think Tim Cahill was about to really let rip. It was a shirt pull. Messian's come away with the ball. Fellaini's down on the ground.
I think this was a foul. Watch as it. Fellaini tries to turn here. Essien goes right over the top of the ball. That's a bad challenge. A really bad challenge from Michael Essien. Tried to wrap his legs round Fellaini. Gets the ball the second time. That should be a booking.
I'm afraid Hibbert's challenge on Malouda pales into insignificance.
Certainly does.
That, and Hibbert was booked.
The only thing you can say for Howard Webb, the attacker was on the blind side of him. Essien was in the way of Howard Webb's view.
Didier Drogba has yet again come up with the goods on the very big occasion for Chelsea.
Look at his position here. Just comes from the edge of the box. He's jogging in, and now he attacks it. He gets between the two centre halves. Julian Lescott was too static. Didn't attack the ball. And it was a really good finish from Didier Drogba. On his day, he's unstoppable.
Unplayable. And it's looking a bit more likely now that it might be Chelsea's day. Of course, there was a huge amount of recovery time from Saha's sensational opener inside the first 30 seconds. Neville. Pino. And sometimes it's often said, Stuart, isn't it, you can score too early, but we'll see.
I think what you can say about Chelsea, they didn't panic, they didn't become rushed, they carried on playing their game.
And they look left to get it right, if you understand my drift. That's that part of the pitch they're troubling Everton in again.
Once again, Frank Lampard dropped off the bit. He allowed Malouda to make the forward run, he allowed Ashley Cole to make the overlapping run. And every time they hit that ball into the space, there's Didier Drogba spinning into the space, the fullback or Malouda is causing Everton problems.
Just to emphasise the point about Drogba, and you said it, Stuart, about he didn't do much in the first part of the season, did he? He's come stronger in the latter months. Scored in the quarter-final, settled the semi-final, and has come up with a big goal here in the final.
Well, he's got great athleticism. He's a big, strong player when he attacks the ball, when he's got that menace about his game. As you quite rightly said, he's unstoppable at times. Here he's making another run behind Yobo. If there's two centre-halves that should be able to cope with his athleticism, it's Yobo and Lescott, because they're both big, strong players, both quick as well.
Stuart, that it's as hot as 42 degrees Celsius down at pitch level.
Well, it does make it very difficult to go and really press the ball. You can't make continuous runs, so it's whoever's got possession of the ball will be less tired than the team chasing it, that's for sure.
And Lescott giving possession away to Lampard of Chelsea. Malouda again, Ashley Cole setting off. Malouda fancies his own pace against the already booked Hibbert. Everton's right back did well. Howard won the FA Cup with Manchester United 5 years ago. Baines. Cahill played in that final against Manchester United for Millwall. Fellaini. Working hard to keep it in. And we need to get players around Fellaini if they're going to just float it up to his head.
Well, that was a wasteful throw from Pienaar, throwing it 20-30 yards up to Fellaini. There's no one around him. What's he going to do with it? If he flicks it on, it's just going to go to a Chelsea player. He can't bring it down. Just going to take their time, Everton. Just get a foothold back in the game.
Essien, Lampard. Baines is there for Everton. Here's Osman. Someone outside him. Hibbert coming from deep and really bursting into the space, concerned about the gap he might leave if Chelsea got it to Malouda. Osman's cross. Here's Anelka. He's got it past Hibbert. Ball of some range. Malouda. Comes for Anelka.
Got to say, Hibbert's recovery run there was poor. Malouda was on for a long time. Anelka had turned away from it once. Lampard turned away from it. Eventually, when the ball was played, Hibbert still wasn't back in his right-back slot. It's important if he does go forward. He can't get back Osman. Even Neville fills in for him.
Chelsea work it to the far side again to Ashley Cole this time. It's it back from Malouda. Rather ran into trouble on that occasion. Malouda's already in his short time in English football has a good record at Wembley. He scored on his Chelsea debut here in a Community Shield, and he scored in that semi-final win in April against Arsenal.
David Moyes has just asked Zaha to play on the right-hand side, so that when Ashley Cole does go forward, Everton may be able to get the ball out to him in the space that Ashley Cole's left. It hasn't worked for them so far, and it has meant they've been short up front when they play the ball forward.
It's been an engrossing first half an hour, during which time both Chelsea and Everton have scored. Two teams have been matched in the Premier League this season. There's always the possibility of the extra half hour. Basingwa. Across, but it was a header under some challenge. And they're caught out again here. Malouda crosses again. Lampard. Anelka. Lampard again. Whip it in, Baines making sure the hands were behind his back. Certainly when anybody looked at him, they were when the initial contact was made. I'm not quite so sure. He looked slightly guilty, but it couldn't have been deliberate.
First time we've seen Lampard really break forward beyond the front players. He's dominating the game from a deeper position where he's spraying passes around.
Lampard with the corner with a lot of height on it. Towards Alex. It's a great tussling against the odds by Pinar. He's such a gritty and skillful player as well. Zaha. Cahill. That was better from Everton on the counter-attack.
What a pass that was from Zaha as well. Cahill was just making a forward run. Zaha nearly picked him out to perfection.
Just got to it, and Drogba wheels away, arm raised in the frustration, as it was so close to putting him in. Now Zaha, Basingwa covering well from right back, needed to.
It was his fault to start with. He went in behind the centre half. Zaha pulled onto him and then made the run in behind Alex. Fortunately, Basingwa got back. Just had the pace to get the other side of Zaha. It was a worrying moment for the back four of Chelsea.
I made the point about Lampard, Stuart. Basingwa hasn't got forward much either, and he certainly when Scolari was the boss, he was bombing on all the time, wasn't he? But it's been left and left again.
Well, I think they've looked at the Everton setup and thought that the left-hand side is where they can cause problems. Lampard just goes a bit deeper, playing on the left-hand side of the three in midfield. It allows Ashley Cole and Malouda to really dominate that area.
Drogba. Return Lescott. Successfully. Neville into the feet of Fellaini. There's no one really running to give him an option in behind Chelsea. Pinar. Almost through. And a couple of decent passes in the last couple of minutes.
Well, when Everton actually get hold of the ball, they take their time and allow other players to go and join Zaha. They have shown a bit of quality. Zaha just trying to flick that over John Terry and get into his path. But again, Alex and Terry were too far apart.
Hibbert has come through the ranks with Everton. Mikel. Sides met in the semi-finals of the League Cup last season. Chelsea won home and away. Part of that 22-game unbeaten streak that Chelsea hold of the Indian sign on Everton. But it's 1-1. Everton with just one trophy in 22 years. That was the FA Cup here in 1995. Cahill and Lescott going for the same ball. It drops for Lampard. Mikel. Malouda. Cole almost going into his space this time, but on hand from Essien. Here's Cole. Back for Malouda. Now Anelka. Can't see a way through for the shot. Everton defending well. They're still having to defend here. Asingwa. Lampard. No flag. Challenged by Pinar. Both sides looking to the assistant. One for offside, one for a penalty.
Just the wrong angle on the pass here from Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard comes off, finds space. Try and step up for offside. Hibbert kept them all onside. If he'd have played the ball straighter, Anelka could have been in for a shot, but it just allowed Pinar to get back. I think it was Anelka that was leaning into Pinar. That's why it wasn't a penalty, and that's why it's a goal kick as well.
Anelka runs off Drogba's head, and it's with Malouda again. Osman trying to help Hibbert. Ashley Cole wanting to be threaded through there. Didn't quite come off, but somehow David Moyes and his coaching staff have got to try and deal with the heat and deal with the hot property that Chelsea have down their left-hand side. I've gone down half a degree.
Hasn't stopped Ashley Cole running forward, has it? I mean, what he's doing, I think he feels that Osman's not a threat to him going the other way. So it allows him, every time Chelsea get time on the ball, he can make those forward runs, and his movement's been excellent. Even when he's run in field, it's taken Osman with him, and it leaves even more space for Malouda to get the ball out wide. Been really creative down that left-hand side.
Yobo. Petr Cech. He's running out of room in which he could use his hands. But, he stayed within the limits.
That was sloppy by Ashley Cole, because Sahar just pulled onto his shoulder. The ball was hit. Ashley Cole didn't go back, hoping that Petr Cech would come out. It's very, very tight.
Knocked on by Drogba. Lampard making one of his trademark runs that time off the front man. Fellaini. Everton having to play a little bit on the break, but the good thing from the neutral perspective is when they do that, they have carried some threat. Cahill. Flag has gone up against Fellaini.
Oh, I think that was very tight. I thought Sahar might be offside. I'm not sure Fellaini was. But Chelsea are trying to play a high back line. They are taking risks. He's had a good game so far, Fellaini. It's key to getting possession and allowing Everton to get players forward.
We're not very good in this country when it gets very hot, are we?
You wouldn't want Fellaini's hairstyle in this heat, would you?
You wouldn't. But he loves it. And it's certainly given him cult status, along with the fact that he's had a very encouraging first season. You can't have hair like that if you're a bad player. Braided look favoured by Pinar. Osman beckoning Hibbert forward. And Ashley Cole confident in the challenge. Malouda strong, Hibbert's out of the equation. And, a loose one from Drogba allows him to get back.
If he does go forward, Hibbert, he's got to make sure he makes it count. He's got to get a cross into the box. That's what Everton feed off. They get it in wide areas. Cahill making his forward run. Fellaini's good in the air. Sahar's a good header of the ball as well. Maybe Sahar, who's had sick note status really over the last few years.
but no one's ever doubted the ability that he has when he is right to play.
There's not one aspect of Sahar's play that isn't good. If he gets it all right, he's a fantastic player. He can run with the ball, he can twist and turn. He's a good finisher, he's got a good shot, he's got a great spring, and he brings others into play. Doesn't do it all on the same day, that's the problem.
And Everton pressed into a mistake here. Drogba with a bit between his teeth, the ball at his feet, but not for long, because Neville got back after his error. Cahill giving and going. Pinar. 5 forward for Everton in this attack. Fellaini, Hibbert, we should get across him this time. We've got some good headers of the ball. Wasn't really tailored to bring those qualities into play.
That was a really poor cross. Didier Drogba just getting up at the other end of the field.
Baines. Pinar caught by Anelka, always known for his tracking back. He's working hard here. Malouda, really got a foot in, but almost manufactured the pass here. And Ashley Cole, fresh from his goal at Sunderland in the Premier League last weekend, might have approached this with a bit more confidence and a bit more accuracy.
Malouda was trying to play it back to one of his centre-halves, and it came off Fellaini. Hibbert struggling. He's beaten far too easily here. He's almost jogging. And then it's a really poor effort from Ashley Cole at the end. I think Hibbert will be a little bit worried that he's been booked, but he's just his pace, his lack of energy, his positional play is not quite good enough at the moment, and I'm sure David Moyes may have to do something about it at half-time. It's going to be over behind him again.
It's non-stop at Hibbert, getting all the help he might expect. It's been a harrowing first half for the Everton right-back.
Of course, they could put Phil Neville back there and bring Rodwell in the position that Neville's playing. Be a straight swap, that might just improve them.
Still in the centre of midfield. Gets it back from Leon Osman. Cahill, Fellaini, but not really given much chance to do that. But Chelsea give it away through Alex. And that will be a free kick, and something that Chelsea have got to guard against. Impetuous there, because they can load in their bigger men. Both Lescott and Yobo are defenders who can score, Lescott in particular. Fellaini and Saha, and that's not to mention yet the main man, Tim Cahill, who has such a capacity to get free when opponents think that they have him in their sights. He sometimes uses teammates as shield. It's only into the gloves of Cech. Well, it should have been into the gloves of Cech. Been a season where at times his very high standards have dropped, and it's the ball that's dropped here.
I think he loses concentration here because there's no challenge on him. Ball was very deep. It's a poor set play from Leighton Baines. David Moyes was going mad on the side when that was played into the box. But they've got another opportunity.
They've got what Chelsea will regard as a cheap corner, and they work it short. Baines. And the extra couple of minutes of added time, there was a real chance for a counter-charge there by Chelsea. There's been a flow to this first half, really against the pessimists who said that this would be tight and tense, as the league games have been between the two goalless draws. Well, we're drawing here. Half-time almost upon us. Stuart, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, obviously Everton got off to a great start, and I don't think it's worked out quite how we expected. When you look at the way Chelsea have playing all down that left-hand side. We thought a lot of it would come from Basingwa down the right, maybe a Anelka. It's all been down that left-hand side. I think David Moyes has got to make a change. But if Everton can just keep hold of the ball in midfield for a couple of passes and then get it wide and get crosses into the box, I still think Cahill, Fellaini, Sahar can still beat Chelsea's back two in the air.
That is the end of a vibrant first half at Wembley. Who's hitting? Saw his side go down to the fastest ever FA Cup final goal. Scored by David Moyes' Louis Saha, the manager's pick. But the man for the big occasion, Didier Drogba, came up with a big header for Chelsea. And Chelsea have looked threatening, particularly down, as Stuart was saying, down that left-hand side where Hibbert has been exposed and has struggled against the combined threat of Florent Malouda, who made the goal, and Ashley Cole, who also had a very good chance to score near the end of this first half. But at half-time, it's level, but we've had goals from both sides. Chelsea won, Everton won.
It is actually your favourite player from the first half.
Hibbert's been taken to the cleaners, and now he's
the fact that he also been
off.
booked as well, Les,
Yeah.
I think the change was never.
That's done a bit of damage to his confidence. So there you are, that's the one change that we're aware of. Let's go back to Martin Tyler for the second half.
So the scene is set for the second half. $90,000 crammed in here, billions of you watching from all around the globe. It's still spellbinding. And this is the FA Cup final, second half at 1-1.
We've also seen a change with the way Everton are lining up front just from this first few seconds. It looks as though Cahill's going to play further forward and Fellaini's going to play deeper up against Michael Essien. So another change that they're made, Everton, not in personnel but in terms of positional.
The shadow's starting to lengthen a little bit here. Alex to take the free kick. Not in a very positive way for Chelsea, just betting themselves into the second period.
And what Cahill's going to do, he's going to close the centre-halves down. Fellaini played slightly deeper. It almost looks as though he's going to play up front with Sahar rather than that position slightly deeper. But it does leave Mikel really wide open to get hold of the ball and start to dictate things for Chelsea.
Jacobson, strength there against Malouda. Jacobson needing to defend again. We're pleased just to get these early moments safely achieved. Has got a very, very important job if Chelsea approach the second half along the lines of the first. If Everton can shut that particular door, they will certainly have a better chance of coming out on top here.
Phil Neville was on the ground here and just had a little jump. We did catch Mikel. Mikel put his foot in the way just to try and shield the ball. Not a good challenge by Phil Neville. Certainly not as bad as the one that Essien made on Fellaini in the first half.
There was an incident in, I mentioned those League Cup semi-finals between the two last season. Mikel was sent off at Stamford Bridge in an incident with Phil Neville. The card is out now.
I think Phil Neville's slightly unfortunate there when you think what happened with that tackle by Essien, which was far worse.
Defending by Lescott. Back by Mikel. Out of harm's way by Neville. Alex up for the free kick. He can use his height maybe in a different way now. A more defensive way. Lampard. Here comes Ashley Cole. Osman trying to track him. Does his job, but it's cost a corner.
But Osman likes to get in the box the other end, and all he's been doing in this game so far is tracking back.
Alex and Terry come forward again. Snapshot for Malouda. It was on his better side.
It was a great leap by Sahar to clear this ball, but he headed it back into the danger area. He needs to get height on this. Heads it straight to Malouda. Just came to him a bit too quickly, really.
Of course, the closer to 90 minutes we get, the more the psychology comes into play. Dare you risk losing to go for the win? Might be harder for Everton to do that. Some tidying up here to be done by the Chelsea and England captain John Terry.
Since his goal, Sahar hasn't read the situations particularly well. A couple of times Cahill's won the ball in the air, Fellaini's won the ball in the air. He hasn't anticipated quick enough.
Some great closing down on Lescott by Drogba. Baines with the crossfield pass. Mikel, Essien. Lampard suggesting he was innocent there. Everton had the ball, so the referee played on. And Cahill certainly doing that with that appetite. It's such an important part of his game. It allows his talents, undoubted talents, to flourish. He's had to work very hard to get to this level of the game from where he came from. He's determined not to let any minute pass without making the maximum use of it. Jakobsen. Neville able to put it in towards Fellaini. This is Pienaar. Can he shift it and shoot? And he wasn't thinking of doing that. He was trying to involve Leighton Baines, I think, but there was no chance of Baines getting it there. And Chelsea break with Anelka. Lampard to one side, Drogba to the other. Drogba trying to drag defenders away. Lampard. Supporting cast arriving in the shape of Ashley Cole. His 6th FA Cup final, remember. And Jakobsen whips it out of immediate danger, but it's another corner.
At least he saw the danger, Jakobsen. I don't think Hibbert was seeing the danger in the first half. Give and go from Ashley Cole, showing plenty of pace. Well, that really started with a bad bit of play down the other end. And Baines looked as though he might get in behind them. The ball was too short to him, and Chelsea attacked the space he'd come from.
And towards John Terry at the near post. Webb, the referee, blows his whistle.
The shirt tugging by Fellaini to start with, then a push in the back. And Osman made the most of it.
And it's much easier for referees to give decisions that way. He's so keen. He's steeped in the history of English football. Who's hitting? Oh, he's worked all around the world. The coach, the winner of the equivalent in Holland, the Dutch National Cup 4 times. He would love to have an FA Cup on his CV.
His whole tenure, albeit short, what it's regarded as will be dependent on this game. Chelsea need to win a trophy. If he wins it, it's successful. If he doesn't, it hasn't been as successful at the spell.
Anelka, Drogba. Anelka will get to it, and perhaps he shouldn't have done. Baines heads away. Anelka's cross is a cunning one. Maybe just a little bit too much air on it. Tim Howard made it his. Played every minute of Everton's season, the goalkeeper from the USA. Yobo, who was out of favour for good periods of the season, but has benefited from an unfortunate accident to Phil Jagielka. Well, it was the only ball that Yobo had on, and sometimes it's beholden on players further forward to recognise that fact. Maybe not so easy to achieve that, make that run when you're sweltering in the Wembley sunshine. Certainly they are doing up front for Everton. Slightly cooler temperatures. We're watching the play develop now. Cole, Lampard, Mikel. And it's made to hurry by Pinar. So there was a bit of uncertainty from Chelsea at the back in the first half, and you just wonder whether the switch to get Cahill's legs around Alex, who we know is carrying an injury, going through some pain.
It's also been their positional play. They're trying to play a very high offside line, Chelsea. I don't think they've always done that. It must be something that was hitting. John Terry's worried about his pace. In previous years under Mourinho, they dropped slightly deeper. Under hitting, they're trying to play a very high offside line. I don't think that suits John Terry.
Osman, who won the FA Youth Cup, the equivalent of this competition at the national level, under 18s. Everton have produced a lot of players at that level, including a certain Wayne Rooney, of course. But the finances of the club dictate that they have to cash in on a number of them as well. Bill Kenwright, the showbiz impresario who runs the club, looking for a billionaire. Win the FA Cup and sell it would be his dream, because he loves being hands-on, but he knows that's for the future benefit. And he's unselfish enough to realise that others with deeper pockets have got to try and take Everton up. They're one off the big four in league positions this season, but it's a huge gap really in terms of finances. Michael Ballack missed out a couple of years ago. Now wondering whether Hushedink will summon his experience.
The player that's been ineffective, really, from Chelsea's point of view, has been Essien. Usually we see him dominating midfield, making bursting runs forward, winning tackles. I don't think he's done any of that in this game so far. It's been Mikel who's controlled a lot of the play. So too Lampard. And there's Gosling.
We shouldn't forget that Everton have knocked out Liverpool through Dan Gosling, knocked out Manchester United. If you beat Chelsea as well, you certainly deserve to win the FA Cup.
You certainly have. Two epic encounters against Liverpool, which they finally overcome in extra time.
Never. Maybe side really have had a period of supremacy in the second half. Been a spell of attrition, really. Neville.
I'd say Jakobsen steadied them down this right-hand side. His positional play's been good. He's seen the runs. Cole.
Saha. Ball went up to Cahill. And Saha coming from a slightly deeper position. Quick to fasten onto it. It's a shot delivered under some pressure, as the outcome showed. Manager of the Year, voted that by his fellow managers. That's the ultimate accolade, really, when you think that it's the third time he's won that award. Even though Everton haven't been picking up silverware, it speaks volumes for the respect in which David Moyes is held, and rightly so. Yoba, offside. Cahill was coming back. Ball travelled a long way.
But if Everton are going to play those long balls forward, it's important they do get support, and that was better. Cahill created a 2v1 up against Basingwa with Pienaar.
The tape coming on. And Ballack was applying it. Come on, but he could be coming on here with a goal for Chelsea and for Anelka, who sprinted onto the scene, beat Tim Howard, but couldn't quite get the shot on target. Otherwise Chelsea would have been in front here.
Look at this pass from Frank Lampard. Anelka's pace gets beyond Yopo, just lifts it too high. Tim Howard was caught in no man's land. The vision and precision of the pass from Lampard was brilliant. Screaming at his back four to play higher up the field. I'm not sure with the pace of Drogba and Malouda making his runs, and Anelka, it's the best policy.
Been the usual pre-final criticism about the ticket allocation, only 25,000 each for the fans of Everton and Chelsea. Now penalises Cahill here. But I must say the noise levels are rising now as we get to the last half hour if it's going to be decided in 90 minutes.
Well, Mikel wasn't within playing distance of the ball. Tim Cahill had a little tug at him to start with, then tried to run around him. Mikel just ran across his line. Sometimes referees make those decisions a bit too quickly.
Substitution for Chelsea. Coming off the field,
you called it, Stuart.
Michael
Essien, not his normal dominant self. A little off the pace today. Now he's off the pitch.
Michael Ballack will pose a threat in the air. He hasn't got the athleticism of Michael Essien, but Michael Essien didn't show his athleticism today. Didn't break away from anybody. He was hardly involved in the game. And Michael Ballack gets his chance.
By Fellaini, then by Cahill, in the chest of Saha. That's Basingwa. Well, it's really here for the winning, particularly as tiredness comes in. Blocked by Cahill with an arm, but obviously Howard Webb saying not intentional, and allowed Cahill to swing into the shot, and Cahill might be wishing now that's not the case because he's limping.
I think he took the ball, whacked into him. John Terry was trying to clear it. Great bravery from Tim Cahill. I think he probably fouled Alex when the ball first went up, just gave him a nudge in the back. And a solid player, Tim Cahill. He'll battle for everything.
And they're a solid team, Everton Football Club. Pienaar. Osman going in. And Philip Neville won't shoot, despite the cries from the crowd. Certainly not his game. But it's Pienaar. Out comes Cech at the feet of Baines.
Well played, Basingwa and Cech. Just saw that run. Good run from Leighton Baines.
Drogba. Stern defending by Yobo. Foul by Mikel. He says he got the ball. Howard Webb begs to differ.
And he's going to be booked for his protest rather than the foul, I think. Can lose his head very quickly, Mikel, at times. He'll do very well to keep quiet now.
Well, fitness is going to be a factor here. The Chelsea players definitely believed that their fitness levels dropped under Scolari. And one of the ways Hiddink immediately pleased them was making them work harder in training.
You have to train at the same tempo as you play, and I don't think that happened under Scolari. That was the criticism. Now they're used to playing at a high tempo. It doesn't shock the system when you're playing the matches.
Clipped by Neville towards the dangerous head of Fellaini. Pienaar settling for the throw. Just a couple of minutes here with Everton looking to pen Chelsea back rather than play on the break. And Chelsea finished the first half strongly, really reasserted themselves as Hiddink would like.
I've got to say, I think Everton are growing in confidence a little bit at the moment.
Pienaar. It looked as though it might be within the range of Fellaini, but patently wasn't. This ball by Ashley Cole. Luda now trying to ply his trade a little bit more infield. Certainly a mad attack for Raini. He could have gone down there, but chose not to. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't get a free kick, and the pass when it came was a bit under-hit, but didn't trouble Everton too much. Pienaar. The underdog showing again that they've got some teeth, some bite. They certainly nipped Chelsea in the first minute of the match. And we're coming to the decisive area of the FA Cup final 2009. 20 minutes of the second half already gone.
I said that Jakobsen wouldn't get forward too much. There he plays the ball inside, goes on the run. He never really looked as though he was going to catch this ball. He hasn't got exhilarating pace.
Well, some players will find something extra in these circumstances. Usually the great athletes, usually the great optimists. But others may be weaker in mind and body, only relatively speaking, of course. Might find it a little bit tougher. And certainly the sports scientists will be wanting some sort of break so that players can take on some rehydration, get some water inside them.
Ballack hasn't contributed so far since he's been on. Tackled his own players a couple of times. This time it's Pienaar. Pienaar just trying to get away from him, and it's another opportunity. Can Everton get the ball into the danger area? Their crossing hasn't been good enough so far. They've got such good headers of the ball. We talk about Yobo and Lescott, one or two others. The crosses haven't been good enough.
This one is from Baines. Cahill behind him with Saha. Louis Saha close to a second, close to giving Everton the lead for a second time.
Should score, and that shows you if the crosses are good enough, Everton will get on the end of them. It's well worked. No one presses the ball. It comes into the danger area. Saha should score. He's been marked by Ashley Cole there to start with. Ashley Cole doesn't go back with him. Good opportunity.
He's coming onto it rather like Drogba came onto it for his goal. And the eyes light up if you're... I was going to say a number 9. He is a number 9, but of course it doesn't really matter these days. That's showing, showing my age, I'm afraid. But you know what I mean. If you're a big striker, you love heading the ball. Some very good crosses. Malouda, who provided the one for Drogba to score. He's able to cross it again, not really challenged.
No, well, the trouble is, Jakobsen went for the crossfield ball. It was played in between him and Saha. John Terry read it and played it straight into the space for Malouda to run onto. Jakobsen couldn't get back.
Terry, sun in the eyes, but he made a good contact. Is he going to go up the steps to get the FA Cup again for Chelsea? Or will it be Philip Neville, who has shown himself to be Everton through and through after some marvellous times with Manchester United? Malouda, Jacobson and Cole. Hoisted in by Ashley Cole. It's time for Baines to have a look round to see if he was going to be challenged in the air. He knew he wasn't. Handball given.
That's where Howard Webb could have let play continue. Chelsea had good possession there.
Anelka. Ballack hasn't really got going. Osman. And Zaha knew. You have a look for two reasons. One, to make sure whether the flag goes up or not, and secondly, to make sure you don't have to run if the decision is offside. Tim Cahill still moving gingerly after that incident a couple of minutes back.
Ball was kicked into him, and then he gets a whack. John Terry's knee goes into his thigh, his hip bone. That will be painful. It's just a dead leg, makes it hard to run. It will stiffen up certainly as the game wears on.
John Terry in the left-back position at the moment, but, realising that he needs to get back, probably wants a spell in the shade. But here goes Malouda, really fizzed it across, and in the end it's hit Drogba. He appreciates the penetration in the run.
Good play from Malouda, goes past Osman far too easily, and he waxes across. It comes off Fellaini to start with, and then hits Drogba.
Could have easily flown into the net.
I think it could have flown into the net off Fellaini as well.
Well, we're 20 minutes away from giving you an extra helping here. Pienaar. Baines. Pienaar wants it again, and his energy levels look good, even though his touch wasn't quite there. That's encouraging for Everton.
But Everton have certainly shown the way that they can score. They can have a bit of combination play in wide areas, they can set up a cross and then get enough players in the box. That's the only way I can see them scoring against Chelsea at the moment.
Hiddink, as Dutch coaches often do, Stuart, expect his defenders to be able to defend. He's not going to pad them out with midfield players.
No, certainly not. He doesn't expect his midfield players to go back in with, go past his centre-backs. Centre-backs have got to deal with it. They play zonally. They have to deal with it when it comes into the box.
Malouda. Malouda again, played in the World Cup final, remember, for France. Lampard, never shy about shooting, and you can see why. A Wembley spectacular from Frank Lampard. And that dance round the corner flag, a reminder of his father, who also won the FA Cup. Frank Lampard Senior, in his West Ham days, used to celebrate a rare goal from the dad like that, but the son does this all the time.
Well, he's going to shoot with his right foot. He cuts inside Neville, and then he hits the shot perfectly with his left foot. He's got two great feet. It's an excellent strike. Howard gets a touch to it. There's the trickery. Slips over, then regains his composure and balance. Strikes it perfectly. Fingertips from Howard, not enough.
Well, there was just that momentary stumble which might have given Everton a chance to nick the ball away from Lampard, and once the shot got going, once Howard reached it, maybe he could have done a bit more to keep it out. But it's going Hiddink's way now, and Frank Lampard yet again has reached 20 goals for the season, the 20th coming in glorious style. And so similar to their semi-final at Wembley, they've made 1-0 down into 2-1 up. That was enough against Arsenal in April. Will it be enough against Everton?
Good response from Everton. Pino having a shot that almost went into the path of Osman. And Zaha coming in at the far post. I think he's better off just whipping this into the danger area. He hits it with the outside of his boot instead of whipping it in with the inside. We talked about Lampard before the game. He can score both ways. He can run into the box and time his runs, or if they back off of him, he can hit shots from distance. And it's the latter that has paid off for him today.
What a bonus it is to have a 20-goal midfield man, season in, season out.
That's magnificent midfield play, and he's set up most of Chelsea's play as well today, so he's not just a goal scorer.
He was voted Chelsea's player of the season. He was very close, I think, to becoming the footballer of the year. Went to Steven Gerrard. Concentration important for Chelsea now after the jubilation. Neville. But Frank Lampard Sr. scored a semi-final winner for West Ham against Everton at Ellen Road, danced around the corner flag, and it's obviously in the Lampard family archives as Frank set off a similar celebration here, Frank Jr.
Frank Sr. had his socks down by his ankles. He was a very weary player. It was extra time in that game, I remember it well.
Beautifully kept in by Ashley Cole. Chelsea are on the charge again. Lampard's on the charge again, but he goes for the pass this time. Malouda, no flag, and that would have been the FA Cup.
Got to go through this with his laces. Again, which player set it up? Frank Lampard. Was he offside? Yes, he probably was. Yes, he was. But once he got into that position, he's got to go with power, low and hard. Put his laces through the back of the ball. Instead, he goes for the chip. He knows it's a bad error.
James Vaughan is a striker, one who exploded into the Premier League. He scored a Premier League goal for Everton when he was only 16. But he's been dogged by injuries since then. He returned after 5 months out to score in the penalty shootout in the semi-final here to help beat Manchester United. But it's the Roman Empire of Chelsea at the moment.
There is that goal again. Nelka playing the ball into Lampard. He's in good space. Phil Neville tries to get close to him, doesn't do so. But it's that ability just to change his mind here. Because he was going to shoot with his right foot. He realised that Neville was too close, slipped over. You thought the moment was gone, but no, he regains his composure. And it's a really good left foot strike. And that's the bonus of having two good feet.
That's one for Dad. That's certainly one for Chelsea. His 130th goal for the club.
Substitution for Everton, coming off the field, number 9,
Louis Saha, whose afternoon started so spectacularly. Younger legs required. Vaughan's all hustle and bustle.
There's another player that's good in the air. He certainly will put a challenge in whenever the ball comes in the box and when it's played forward.
Free kick.
So I think this is a poor decision by Howard Webb. Action replay may prove me wrong. I think Fellaini just goes for the ball. He's wholehearted. Goes up in the air. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that challenge whatsoever. I think sometimes Fellaini's punished just because he's big.
For Chelsea, a goal down at Southend in the third round replay. A goal down at Watford in the 5th round, a goal down in the semi-final against Arsenal, and a goal down here in the final. And yet, here they are, 13 minutes away. being confirmed as the winners of this very eventful FA Cup season. Bounce-back ability. Well, there's a swerve on that. Was it over the line? Well, the assistant
I thought that was a goal.
in a position to give it. Flora Malouda, arm raised, but the flag wasn't raised. I must say that was my first instincts as well, Stuart.
Certainly my first instincts as that shot went in and hit the underside of the bar. Thought the ball was over the line. So too did the Chelsea players, not surprisingly. What a strike that was from Malouda. Picked up the ball. He's gone further infield now that Jakobsen's played well since he's been on.
Here's Basingwa. So Malouda, who's missed a chance since it went 2-1. Has he been wrongly denied a goal here, Drogba? On behalf of Vaughan. Malouda really got the pace to run in behind Ballack, but Chelsea still trying to stay on the front foot, as Everton have to find some reserves of energy. Get the best angle from here, I'm not sure, but this is the one that will tell us.
That's a goal. Our instincts were right at the beginning. He knows it. The Chelsea players knew it. Everton have got away with that. It's a great strike from Malouda, who's been outstanding throughout the game, particularly in the first half. What a difference he's been under the leadership of Gus Hiddink.
Will it go into Wembley folklore as the moment that cost Chelsea winning the FA Cup in 2009? Or will it just be a little footnote to a success that's already assured?
He was a long way off his line. Tim Howard hits the underside of the bar. That's over, and the spin then takes it back into play.
1966 and all that.
Other end, isn't it? Or the same end.
Different stadium. Different. The old Wembley. Which is shaped, you're quite right, Stuart, pointed the same way but moved. The way we're probably sitting over where the old pitch was. I understand behind the touchline that you're just looking down at. Referring the worst, the Evertonians. Terry. Quite enough pace on it for him to think about scoring from there, but you never know where the goalkeeper might be. Hadn't committed himself. Chase on for Vaughan. Pino, who played it, has gone on into the middle. Check. Probably fingertips enough there just to help it out of harm's way, but quick to react was Osman. Fellaini in the middle, Neville trying to pick him out. Cahill was another obvious target. Drogba. Well, there are going to be chances now, aren't there? Either Everton are going to get something from overcommitting, or they're going to be picked off by the quality that Chelsea have on the break. Ashley Cole. Two goals in the season would be a lot for him, two in a week.
Certainly would. Everton are going to make another substitution, as you quite rightly said.
Substitution for Everton coming off the field.
Dan Gosling. Made great progress this season. That goal to beat Liverpool was, of course, his highlight, but he's been regularly involved.
When he came on against Liverpool, first 3 or 4 touches he had, so he'd never played before, and then suddenly scored that goal, and his confidence has risen ever since. Dan Gosling.
Do you think they brought on 2 youngsters in Vaughan and Gosling. Chelsea have brought on Germany's captain Michael Ballack. There's a difference in the squad. Actually, it has worked because David Moyes has been able to inspire the group. They have been such a tight-knit group. Missing the likes of Arteta, of course, Yakubu, who's injured so early in the season, Jagielka, who we've missed. We've mentioned, rather, missing out on the big day that he created with the winning penalty.
Well, I thought when they lost Arteta, it would be a real problem.
89,391. Some 25,000 cheery as they're backing Chelsea. And the Evertonians gloomy at the moment, hoping the team can dig deep again. They've done it plenty of times this season. Here's Ashley Cole. Comes back to Basingwa. Nelka, Lampard wanted to get within range of goal again. And down he goes. And Howard Webb has given a free kick against Lampard. Well, if he's done that, he's got to book him, and he has done.
Brave decision from Howard Webb. Was he right or not? Lampard shielding the ball. Tries to get the cross in first time. Well, there is contact with Pienaar, but I think he makes the most of it. Pienaar's leg come across him. Well, there certainly was contact. Many refs would have given the penalty.
I'd say that really could have gone either way.
I think it's very harsh on Frank Lampard to get a yellow card, really.
Chelsea have become accustomed to not getting penalties, I don't think. They certainly had those claims against Barcelona.
They haven't been used to goals not being given when they've gone over the line.
No. Yes, it should be done and dusted now. Chelsea fans will be feeling plenty of justification.
I'm not sure that bringing Gosling on has helped Everton, because now Malouda and Ashley Cole, once again their movements causing all sorts of problems down this left-hand side. Ashley Cole's become more into the game again.
Pienaar. It's very good play from Stephen Pienaar again. Switch of play aimed at Gosling. He's still got life in his legs and ambition in his mind.
This is a great tackle from Pienaar, wins the ball. Does actually roll up the ball and go on to Basingwa. Someone screaming and shouting. No way that Everton should stop there. Carry on and play.
Basingwa is jogging back into position.
There are going to be fouls now, because Everton have got to win the ball back quickly. Now they're 2-1 down, they have to win the ball back quickly, get it forward. So they're going to have to lunge into challenges, they're going to have to make slide tackles. And there are going to be free kicks.
Chelsea are really amongst the nouveau riche of the game. Won the FA Cup 97, 2000, the old Wembley, 2007 here. Losing finalist 94, 2002. They did also win it in 1970. After a replay, they beat Leeds at Old Trafford in Manchester. And Ashley Cole is closing in on this fifth winners' medal. Three other players in the late 19th century did it, but no one in modern times. And he's played very well today, Ashley Cole. Never been beaten by the conditions, that's for sure.
Well, he's shown great athleticism, he's made lots of forward runs. He's done really well, Ashley Cole.
And the sponsors' man of the match is indeed Ashley Cole.
his forward play made Everton have to make that substitution at half-time. Yes, Malouda is the player that kept on going past Hibbert, but it was actually Cole's movement, runs, combination football that caused all the problems.
Chelsea taking as much time as Howard Webb will allow. Basingwa, Ballack, Lampard, Malouda to cut it back. Lampard's there again.
Malouda's the sort of player that needs someone to combine with him. He had Abidal at Lyon in France. And now he looks like he's formed a really good partnership with Ashley Cole in this Chelsea side.
Another asking for handball. And, he's been given it against Anelka. Well, they'll be wanting Roman Abramovich to try and do a deal to get Hiddink back. Still no successor announced, of course. Ancelotti in the news, Carlo Ancelotti from Milan. But, mixed messages coming out of part of the San Siro.
Agony for these Everton supporters. Had a free kick there just inside their own half. You expect one of the centre-halves to take it, get players forward. They took it quickly. It was a hopeful ball forward, real waste.
20 points between them in the Premier League. The final league table. It looks like 23 games now in which Everton have failed to beat Chelsea. David Moyes has been in charge for a good period of that stint, but it's not done and dusted yet. And here's Leighton Baines. Now scampering forward again. Cahill winding up. He won't give up without the strongest of fights.
I think this is a poor decision. Got players in the box, just need to get it into the danger area. Look at Fellaini in there, Vaughan, both good in the air. You can see what that means to David Moyes. Not happy with that decision by Cahill.
Martin Atkinson, the fourth official, holds up the board.
The fourth official has indicated
4 minutes
there will be a
on it.
minimum of 4 added minutes.
And having had a goal inside 30 seconds, we might get a late one as well, but it has looked more likely to come from the side that are leading, that we get the insurance from it. Lescott. Can Everton do something akin in added time to what Barcelona did in the Champions League semi-final at Stamford Bridge? One goal, of course, wouldn't win it, and it would take it into extra time, 15 minutes each way.
Everton need to get a set play somewhere and just get the ball into the danger area.
Well, it's been a drama for Bill Kenwright, and he knows all about those on the West End stage, here on football's northwest London stage. Well, tragedy would be the wrong word, but it's not going to have a happy ending, it seems, for Bill's men. Getting to an FA Cup final, another step up the ladder. David Moyes has been emphasising that, but they've come here to win, and for much this very hot afternoon they've been in contention, and they're still in contention of wiping the smiles off Chelsea faces. Chelsea, though, should be taking absolutely nothing for granted. Lampard, and it's Anelka. Well, you can't say they haven't had the opportunities to put real daylight between themselves and Everton.
Look at the movement of Anelka, and who passed the ball? Frank Lampard again. That's inch perfect. Good first touch from Anelka, and then just can't keep the lob down. But again, good movement from Anelka. And in a central roll now. Didier Drogba's gone out to the right-hand side.
And Ballack can involve him. Should be time Headed up by Lescott, but Everton obviously physically tired, but mentally stressed as well now. No team in an FA Cup final has had a quicker start. But as we pointed out at the time, there was a lot of recovery time for Chelsea, and recover they have done. And here's Basingwa on the burst. Anelka's in the middle, it's outside the box. But it's certainly a foul by Baines, a yellow card for Baines.
Well, good run from Basingwa. We haven't seen him get forward as much as we normally do. I'm not sure how much Baines got at Basingwa there, but he had to jump over the challenge.
Chelsea have 2 in the penalty area and 2 over the ball. Everton have left 3 out. And it's a run down the clock time from Didier Drogba. Pienaar gets it back. In steps Mikel. Well, usually in the FA Cup, certainly in the Premier League years, the team that's carried the higher league position has won through in the final. Chelsea actually gave the lie to that when they beat Manchester United 2 years back. Drogba, but it's over. Chelsea have won it for the 5th time, this time for their Dutch master. A very sweet climax to a short stay at Stamford Bridge for Huijs Hiddink. He may have to find a new head coach, but he knows who the players want, who the fans want, and who may yet be available again. Frank Lampard decided it with a spectacular. And it's still this hoodoo that Everton can't break. Chelsea have a hex on them. The last winners at the old Wembley, the first and now 3rd winners in the new stadium. Chelsea from southwest London are writing their own pages in the FA Cup history in the northwest of the capital. Stuart Robson.
Well, I think Chelsea deserved it. Well, undoubtedly they deserved it. They played the better football. They created problems down the left-hand side that Everton couldn't cope with. And in Frank Lampard, they had a midfield player that not only could create, but could also finish. Everton huffed and puffed, but it wasn't really enough. They put in a good display, but they're going to have to get a little bit more creativity if they want to challenge for honours.
They've done it by the comeback route yet again. Chelsea 2, Everton 1.
Well, the Champions League semi-final loss to Barcelona must still linger with pain in the Chelsea memory, but it will be easier to bear after this FA Cup victory. Chelsea's 3rd in the last 10 years. We're going to talk over pictures until we go back to Martin Tyler and Stuart Robson for the presentation.
It does, you know, as Paul said, they haven't quite got enough craft. They relied very much on Fellaini and Cahill's aerial ability. They tried to get crosses into the box. They didn't get enough quality crosses into the box. And in the end, they didn't quite have enough. And that's been the case for the last few seasons.
And the 4th official, Martin Atkinson.
The officials making their way up. Chelsea just have to put the jubilation of actually getting the medals on hold until the other formalities are complete. But Drogba again, Stuart, has come up with the goods on the big day.
Yes, he started off the game, didn't really look too interested. He'd been beaten by Lescott on 3 or 4 occasions, but when it mattered and a quality cross came into the box, he timed his run perfectly, and what a header it was. I don't think he did that much in the game. I thought Anelka and Malouda were more positive than him, but he scored that great goal, and that got Chelsea back into the game.
In case you're wondering, it's actually cold there with what looks like something to keep him warmer. Those items of clothing are also designed to keep you cool, I believe, Stuart, as well.
Yes, apparently so. I mean, it's been a very hot day here. I mean, the shade is coming over most of the pitch now, but the players have got to take a lot of credit to be able to play in that sort of heat.
Well, Howard Webb has left his home in South Yorkshire to come down to Wembley, and he won't be back for a month. He's going to the airport tomorrow. He's off to the Confederations Cup to officiate there. It's almost 3 times the old climb, which famously was the 39 steps at Wembley.
This year, but tremendously supported.
It's a trudge when you're a loser, but they're gallant losers. I don't think they can feel that they didn't give it their best shot.
No, they certainly did give it their best shot. They got off to a great start. I just think at times they didn't get enough men forward. They didn't play through midfield enough to enable other players to go and join in with Sahar and get Fellaini further up the field. It's a tactic that's worked for them on many occasions this season, but Chelsea were just too good for them on the day.
Philip Neville has the consolation of 3 winners' medals in his time with Manchester United, but that's no comfort at the moment. It's a microcosm. Nuno Valente on the left, Mikel Arteta, who couldn't play, particularly Arteta, who is their midfield maestro, was injured at Newcastle earlier in the year. It has been an injury-hit season, and it again means that we must point out what a fantastic feat it's been for David Moyes, 5th in the Premier League, the FA Cup final. But their competitors, they want more than that. They don't want to be acknowledged. They want their places on the roll of honour. A near miss for Everton after a real hit so early in the game. Phil Neville is a gentleman, manages the right kind of response to the dignitaries. Kofi Annan, special guest of honour today. Bill Kenwright, who lives and breathes Everton Football Club. And he was an actor before he became an impresario, and he's acting out the right kind of emotions here. He will be aching inside. Jacobson there did well when he came on in the second half. It stopped a certain problem. Another arrived in the shape of Frank Lampard. Sympathies for David Moyes. Dave Richards there of the Premier League. More at the gallop, with more to collect. A stadium still in its infancy, but John Terry and several of his Chelsea colleagues have already passed this way before. And they are certainly putting down the name of the South West London club in the history of this competition. When you look back at 1923, the 20s from the first Wembley, those early years, well, generations to come will look back. So who were the teams when that Wembley opened? Well, Chelsea did pretty well, didn't they? And they've done pretty well today, but not after some early difficulties. They had huge respect for Everton. It wasn't misplaced. They were caught with a sucker punch.
They certainly were. I mean, they didn't get off to a good start. Everton, right from the kick-off, scored that first goal, but they had that composure and the confidence in their play, and the manager, just to keep them calm, they had a good game plan, and really they dominated the game. And it was only a matter of time before they got back into the match, and once they were equalised, you always felt that they would go on and win.
And Chelsea are back in the winners' enclosure. 2 years on, it is again in the FA Cup. Cup run started by Scolari, taken on by Ray Wilkins, and finished off by Hoos Hiddink. Bruce Buck, Peter Kenyon, from the boardroom. But the handing over of the FA Cup has actually happened from Kofi Annan. United Nations is a good description of the Chelsea camp. FA Cup winners for 2009.
Chelsea are the winners of the FA Cup for 2009, and they will go away and enjoy their victory, and they will go away to celebrate with their fans. We in the studio will have more analysis after this short break. Stay with us. There is a trophy lifted by the Chelsea players, and it's a big moment for them, particularly after the way they lost the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League. I'm sure they would have preferred the other trophy in Rome, which in the end went to their opponents, Barcelona, but they're entitled to their joy today. They were the better team, winning 2-1, and it could have been more. Let's reflect a bit more on that. John, I just wondered whether Everton really ever had a chance, given the reality of the situation in English football, that you've got the big four, of which Chelsea is one, and really when they're playing an Everton, which is finished 5th in the league, but a long way behind 4th place, the other team doesn't really have much of a chance.
Well, before the game, you'd say that Chelsea were odds-on favourite, but then after the first minute, when Saha scored that great goal, you actually started to believe that maybe that could be their day. But they didn't end up playing at all after that. Chelsea had most of the ball, created most of the chances, most of them coming in the second half, and yeah, they were easy winners at the end. And you see how happy Gus is about it. He now goes away a hero, and who knows, he might be back there in the near future.
Who knows? I mean, you know him better than any of us in this room. Did he play this game the way you expected him to play it?
Look, Gus is he's good at playing to the strength of his players, and maybe he doesn't think that they can play out and out attacking football with the type of players he's got. So at the end, he's big on results, which all managers are. He's come away with a trophy, and you have to say that he's successful. But not everyone likes to watch this type of football. But with Russia, he played attacking football, you know, exciting football.
Different players.
Yeah, different players. So they're a lot quicker out wide, and you know, on the counter attack they're a lot quicker. And
it was his squad. I mean, that's the squad that he selected, he built. This is still, as I mentioned earlier, Kevin Mourinho's squad that he's trying to cope with and get some sort of results with. I'm not one of those who criticises him for the way he achieved this trophy today.
Oh, certainly not. I don't think he can come in for any criticism. At the end of the day, there was a football game to be won, and he's walked away winning the game. How he's gone about it, people dissect it and choose to, you know, sit on which side of the fence they want. But in reality, you know, there's a trophy to be won today, and he's gone out there and won it. Albeit, you know, it could have been by a couple of more goals, a lot easier in the end. But the reality is they'll wake up tomorrow morning winners of the FA Cup final.
He started off perhaps cautiously by putting Essien on Timmy Cahill, etc. He changed that and changed the tactics, changed the strategy, and won the game. So
that was probably forced on him a little bit, because in the second half Timmy played a lot more advanced, was a lot higher. And then he decided to bring Ballack on and release Essien off Timmy, because he was a lot more advanced, and it probably worked to their favour. But in all fairness, Everton, I don't think, they've played a lot better in previous games, and they really weren't at the races tonight. And as I said, Chelsea just done enough.
Well, what do you say, Kevin, about what Fozzie said earlier about maybe it's time Tim moved on to a different...
Even better than what he already is, but it all depends if he wants to leave the club if he's comfortable there, which he is, it seems like. And you have to play to a certain player's strengths, and usually they do play to Timmy's strengths. If he goes to another club, you don't know if they're going to be able to play to his strengths, and so he might not stand out as much.
The substitutions, when they were made, for us bringing Ballack on, worked well for Hiddink.
I think so. They could have had another couple of goals in the second half. I just think Chelsea were too strong for them. Everton were never. They were going to be extremely fortunate, or take really a near miracle to beat Chelsea today. The level of quality between what's on the park in the yellow and in the blue, there's really a very large gap. You look at the first team when they took it for Everton, and particularly even on the bench, let's say, there's not one player on the bench really who is of any repute, and that shows you the difference. And in one sense you can say Moyes has done incredibly well to get up to 5th in the Premiership with predominantly a team that's very reliant on Timmy Cahill, was missing Arteta, who's a great player as well. Yakubu also scored 21 last year. So they were in fact under strength. He's done very well. You could also raise the question about the gap between the top 4 of the Premier League and the rest, and I think that gap was shown tonight.
Absolutely. The transition that Chelsea has to undergo from here on in is a fascinating topic because, as we said, and I labour the point, this is still within your squad, Kevin. If Abramovich wants to play the sort of football that he wants to play, it's going to be a long transition. It's not going to happen overnight, whatever coach he brings in.
Yeah, without a doubt, and it is going to take some strength, to give someone the job and say, look, you've got 4 or 5 years to create a real footballing culture to this standard. And whatever that may be, might differ, but if he's expressing that he wants a football team to play a lot more football, keep the ball on the ground and pass it around, you're going to have to give someone some time to develop that. It's just not going to happen overnight, and it's certainly not going to happen in 3 months anyway.
It's a problem that a lot of clubs have, John, that they don't have this kind of culture which allows that kind of football to be played, because that has to have roots, it has to have a philosophy, it has to have academies where the right stuff is taught to the kids. But there is a climate in the modern world of football where people think that if there's a lot of money at the club's disposal because of rich owners, that suddenly greatness is achieved. But that's not true, is it?